Lundi 17 mai 2021, Madame, Messieurs, bonsoir, il est 18h30. Merci de choisir My Media Prime TV pour vous informer. Et pour l'ouverture de ce journal, parlons de ces 5 enfants déplacés internes hospitalisés en Kongsamba dans le Mungo après avoir récolté puis consommé différentes variétés de champignons. Selon le médecin du centre hospitalier de Kongsamba, leur situation est stable. Nora Kakebi avec les détails.
Over the weekend, 5 children who ran away from the restive southwest region, now internally displaced and living in Kongsamba in the Mungo division of the littoral region, have been hospitalized for serious stomach upset after having consumed the bat species of mushroom they harvested from a farm. These children, due to hunger and lack of food to eat, went into a farm looking for what they could eat to keep body and soul together, but unfortunately stumbled on the poisonous species of mushroom, which later provoked severe vomiting after they consumed of it. The internally displaced children were immediately rushed to the regional annex hospital in Kongsamba, where the director instructed that the children be treated free of charge. It should be noted that this is simply one case out of many other cases of desperation, helplessness, misery and pain caused by the crisis in the English-speaking regions of the country. Many families have left their homes to seek refuge in other parts of the country where they can barely afford a meal a day. Families are going through agonizing situations just to put bread on their table and put a smile on the faces of their loved ones. However, reports say the children are fortunately out of danger after the timely medical intervention and have reunited with their parents.
Le pouvoir parental et la garde d'enfants illégitimes ou encore enfants nés hors mariage semblent avoir détruit plusieurs mariages ou alors plusieurs familles au Cameroun. Les personnes impliquées, ignorant ce que dit la loi, Aileen Sama a mené une enquête afin de découvrir ce que prévaut la loi en cas de garde illégale d'un enfant né hors mariage. Son reportage.
In Cameroon, the various scenarios concerning a child born out of wedlock determines who has rights over the child between the mother and the father and at what age. In the case of single parenting, the mother has rights over the child, according to what the law says, as Barrister Shom Kaimbi of Ashu Law Chambers explains.
Single parenting, for example, when it comes to custody of a child, automatically the mother has the custody of the child when it's an issue of single parenting. So, as the mother has the custody over the child, however, there are instances that can be taken into consideration where the man wishes to get custody of the child or wants to have even right to visit of this child.
However, what is most important for a father to have custody over his child, be it in the case of single parenting or a child born outside marriage, is for the father to recognize the child at birth by making sure his name is on the child's birth certificate.
Issue of birth certificate needs to be established. Yes, you need to make sure that you recognize that child. Even if the lady is, when I say single parenting, means couples they are not married legally, you see. So the matrimonial process would protect them at that instant. It
is worth noting that the court takes into consideration some factors before giving custody to the mother or father, for instance, the welfare of the child.
At first we talk of the welfare of the child, interest of that child. So we take that into consideration at the court level of the court to know how is this woman going to take care of this child? Is she financially stable? Take care of the child, those are the things, which type of life does she takes into, or which type of life does she lives, you see, on a daily basis of our daily life.
The barrister at law says that parents fighting custody over kids are usually ignorant of the law and advises them to always go to the law court for judgment to be executed and for them to work solely on that, putting self-interest aside.
Les travaux de la réhabilitation de la route Babadjou-Bamenda est lente. Les usagers de cette route ont fait appel aux autorités compétentes à se pencher sur la situation de la dite route. D'après les témoignages recueillis, ils seraient contraints de patienter des heures ou encore parcourir des longues distances dans la boue en raison de cette route, de l'état de cette route. Plus de précision avec Fond Quinta.
Roads muddy and slippery, passengers stranded wondering when they will arrive their destination. This has been the situation of the stretch from Santa Akum heading to the west region of the Republic of Cameroon. Passengers living and entering the northwest region say they spend hours on same spot due to the poor state of road linking the northwest and the rest of the country. As days go by, coupled with heavy downpours, the state of the road worsens, leaving passengers and other road users stranded for hours. This 70-seater bus, stranded in mud around Santa, is just one out of many scenes road users using the Bamenda Babadjou stretch face on a daily basis. With the slippery and muddy roads, many are forced to leave their buses and trek to the other end of the road and wait for their buses that might take hours to reach them. Given the poor state of the road linking the west and northwest region, road users have sent distress calls to officials to look into that situation.
Les éléments de la compagnie de gendarmerie de Loum ont récemment mené une opération coup de poing sur la route de l'Ouest. C'était sur renseignement, une opération qui a permis la saisie d'un important stock de marchandises de contrebande venues du Nigeria. Les marchandises ont été saisies sur la route de Bamungu dans la région de l'Ouest. Blanche Perdrine.
These goods were seized at the Bamungun Junction around the Bafusam-Mbuta Highway during an operation led by the National Gendarmerie. The goods, comprising of drinks and milk from Nigeria, illegally entered the country for circulation and consumption in our local markets. The Colonel and Lieutenant Commander explained that the operation is in line with activities to minimize or stop contraband goods from entering the country from any other country.
Illicite passe en plein dans la région du soleil couchant.
During this mission, we have seized so many products meant for sales and consumption in the West region from Nigeria.
Stock de produits de consommation brassés sur la licence Guinness Nigeria PSC 24 appartenant à un fournisseur illicite.
As drivers have resorted to several means of packaging and transportation of contraband goods, so too have custom officials and forces of law and order reinforced strategies to keep the goods away from local markets. We also recently uncovered a hideout specialized in the production of fake products, and we are calling on the population to be very vigilant. The goods have been seized, and elements of law and order have launched new schemes to uncover transporters of goods into the country.
La journée d'hier, 16 mai, a vu la célébration de la journée mondiale du vivre ensemble, une expression glanée partout et par tous. Si sa promotion semble faire l'unanimité des discours, son implémentation concrète et pratique, surtout dans les questions du mariage, rencontre encore quelques couacs. Je vous propose de suivre ce reportage.
La question du vivre ensemble au Cameroun semble être réduite aux affaires relatives au mariage exogamique. Des modalités de la dot qui varient d'une tribu à une autre, comme l'atteste Papa Soncha.
Bon, j'ai marié les filles beaucoup. Ils sont chez nous. Mais il y a la dot chez eux, c'est différent de chez nous. Parce que pour doter une femme là-bas, il faut avoir les moyens. Un pauvre ne peut pas se marier d'une fille boule. Ça, c'est sûr. Parce que tout ce qu'on dépense là-bas, on ne dépense pas ça chez nous. Alors que quand eux viennent chez nous, on leur donne seulement un job. On ne leur dit même pas de... Mais c'est vrai, on leur donne job. Hein? Vous croyez que si quelqu'un paye...
S'il s'agit d'une effectivité, il y a au moins 2 défis à relever. Celui de la haine fratricide. Et celui de l'hypocrisie.
Je pense que le vivre ensemble au Cameroun, nous le faisons déjà puisque forcément nous vivons ensemble. Même comme c'est beaucoup plus dans l'hypocrisie.
Avec un peu plus de 250 groupes ethniques au Cameroun, ce qui constitue une diversité culturelle, les défis du vivre ensemble et le développement harmonieux sont plus larges et doivent être conditionnés, mis en place par le gouvernement qui, d'après certains, paraît défaillant dans ce sens.
Avant, les Camerounais ne savaient pas ce thème. Donc, on a un gouvernement en place qui veut nous embrouiller. Et ils veulent gâter pour mieux venir. C'est ça. Donc, moi, le vivre ensemble, c'est tout Cameroun.
De toute évidence, la question du vivre ensemble convoque les relations entre personnes venant des mêmes ou d'horizons divers et qui sont appelées à conjuguer leurs différences pour marcher d'un pas ferme et constant vers le progrès. L'un des défis importants du vivre ensemble dans notre pays est incontestablement la communion des divergences pour regarder dans la même direction, la mobilisation conjointe des énergies pour réaliser des projets communs.
Alors que le Cameroun s'apprête à célébrer sa traditionnelle fête nationale le 20 mai prochain, une image de ce à quoi le pays ressemblait dans les années antérieures a été dépeinte par les membres de Douala Choir Association de l'église presbytérienne du Cameroun lors de leur rassemblement annuel hier dimanche. Dolingonde avec les précisions.
At first sight, one would think these are the pre- and immediate post-colonial days where the Douala and Mungak languages predominantly took central stage as main languages of communication in Cameroon. However, this is the week geared towards the commemoration of the National Day festivities come May 20th in Cameroon, and the picture of what the country used to be has been perfectly painted as these groups of persons under the banner Douala Choirs Association of the East Mungo Presbytery of the Presbyterian Church in Cameroon converged this Sunday at PCB Panda Douala for their annual rally. While evangelizing just like their peers nationwide, the promotion of culture and living together took central stage as the texts of the day were read predominantly in the Douala language and songs of praise and adoration to God as the presiding pastor speaks forth.
We should not make ourselves popular. Instead, we should tell the people, let Christ increase and let me decrease.
Celebrating under the running theme, Be a Blessing, the Presbytery President of DCA says this rally has not been limited to singing, dancing, or the promotion of national values like peaceful coexistence, given that the choir inspires all persons irrespective of their backgrounds.
Today we did not come only to sing. We've gone out to evangelize to the hospitals, to pray and give gifts to our patients, the sick ones.
Although funds were also raised to promote and sustain the association, the president further disclosed the choir is open to membership.
I think just going out to evangelize, they are seeing us through our voices. I believe other members of the church will join us. Secondly, what we do is we pay teachers to go around and teach the Douala songs.
Material exhibitions, singing and dancing concluded the day.
Dans notre page santé, à l'occasion de la journée mondiale de l'hypertension artérielle qui se célèbre ce 17 mai, nous faisons un point sur cette affection cardiovasculaire qui touche près de 2 milliards de personnes dans le monde avec Bokonge Wadi.
Accounting for 7.6 million sufferers globally, hypertension is a condition in which the force of blood against the artery walls is too high. Born from severe health conditions such as brain damage, kidney failure, heart attack, stroke, untreated high blood pressure, amongst others, the disease affecting more than 30% of the adult population worldwide portrays no sign or symptoms for some sufferers.
1 in every 3 adults around the world has high blood pressure, but a third of those are not even aware that they have it. You see, high blood pressure often shows no symptoms. That is why it is known as the silent killer. In the past, we often thought of heart attacks and strokes as diseases of the rich. But today, death rates from these diseases are higher in middle-income developing countries than in wealthy countries.
Worthy of note is the fact that of the 1.13 billion individuals suffering from hypertension worldwide, 2/3 of these individuals are found in low and middle income areas like Africa. According to Pan-African Health Organization Director General, Dr. Karisa,
hypertension, or as it is best known, high blood pressure, is the #1 risk factor for illness and death. Uncontrolled hypertension, or blood pressure that is higher than 140/90, is the most important reason for heart attacks and strokes, and it can also cause kidney failure, blindness, and other health problems.
On World Hypertension Day, sufferers and non-sufferers are encouraged to check their blood pressure regularly, reduce their salt intake, manage stress and anxiety, quit smoking and alcohol, improve their daily lifestyle habit by means of healthy diet, weight as well as exercise, so as to help reduce the 1.13 billion sufferers worldwide, a number estimated to increase according to World Health Organization by 2025.
Parlons à présent sport. Le club de vétérans appelé Enjoyment Veteran Club a remporté la victoire de la 2e édition du concours All Veterans à Vecom. Hier, ils se sont imposés face aux représentants du littoral dans la compétition de football par 6 buts à 5 au tir au but. Ce concours All Veterans Club, créé en 2018, vise à favoriser l'amitié entre Camerounais. Lasha Kingsley était son reportage.
For the second time in less than 4 years of existence, veterans across Cameroon once more demonstrate the power of unity and fraternity through football. The finals of the All Veterans competition that took place at the Kamtel Bepanda Playground in Douala, Peters Central Regional-based outfit, Enjoyment Veterans Club of Yaoundé in sky blue and navy blue shorts against littoral rivals Cosbu of Douala in white blue jersey.
AVECOM stands for All Veteran Competition. It is a national association that was created in 2018, and this is the second edition of the national tournament. Last year we could not hold because of the COVID-19 pandemic. And this year, we decided to at least do something symbolic by having a tournament here in Douala. The tournament so far has been so good, and today we are having the final. The final match is between EVC. EVC is an Enjoyment Veteran Club from Yaoundé.
Within the two halves of the game, none of the teams showed clear dominion as they both separated on a 1-1 tie. In a post-match penalty shootout, the Yaoundé outfit held down the team from Douala in front of a home crowd to a 8-7 defeat. Officials say the 20-team tournament was foiled last year by the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic, causing teams to be reduced to 8 this year.
So, on day 3 of this competition, All Veterans competition, like the local organizing chairman, we are quite happy. We have received 8 teams, 3 from Yaoundé, 4 from Douala, 1 from Limbe. We are also happy rain has spared us any potential trouble. We have done everything to limit it to 8 teams instead of 16 because we had to maintain some distance in this period of COVID. We wish all teams safe journey as they go back.
The pioneer edition of the All Veterans competition held in Yaoundé and Douala was chosen this year for strategic reasons.
The reason why we choose Douala is because it's our underpinning principle that we cannot host a competition in the same region twice. Last 2 years we had it in Yaoundé and we voted for Douala for 2021. So this year we'll be leaving Douala, and next year it's going to be in Limbe in the southwest region.
Chairperson, local organization. This is a body that is made up of those who are on the host town
to organize the competition. So I served as a local organization secretary, and we did everything possible to reach this level. We thank God for everything, and we thank God for the finalists. We thank God for nature, because we're able to get to this far without rain.
The rendezvous has been taken for the coastal and touristic city of Limbe next year, and 16 teams are expected to battle it out for the trophy, hoping the global health pandemic curve slopes downward.
Et pour la Coupe de la Confédération africaine de football, Coton Sport de Garoua s'est imposé contre ASG Jaraf avec 1-0 hier au stade Rumde Adja à Garoua en phase aller des quarts de finale. Quentin Etapé revient sur les moments forts de cette rencontre. Vous suivrez également les réactions des deux entraîneurs dans ce reportage.
Match à des quarts de finale de la Coupe de la CAF, Coton Sport s'impose face à l'ASC Jaraf du Sénégal hier, dimanche 16 mai 2021, au stade Rumde Adja à Garoua. Le seul but de la victoire est introduit à la 88e minute par l'attaquant Lambert Guémé Arena, qui suite à une belle réception de balle dans la surface de réparation, comme du tic au tac, n'a pas perdu le temps pour avantager son équipe. À l'issue de cette rencontre, les entraîneurs ont donné leur réaction. Pour le coach des cotonculteurs, Souleymane Aboubakar, jouer à domicile ne suffit pas. Il faut aller chercher dans ses tripes quand on a un adversaire coriace en face.
Vous avez vu jusqu'à pratiquement la dernière minute, même en infériorité numérique, ils nous ont donné vraiment de la sueur froide. Alors qu'il fallait faire la différence tout de suite et ici et espérer aller faire un autre résultat, un bon résultat là-bas au Sénégal. Maintenant, il faut aussi avouer que ce n'est qu'une première partie, parce que la qualification, il faut aller la chercher au Sénégal. Donc, nous irons vraiment, cette fois-là, c'est nous les commandos, pas ce qu'on me disait tout à l'heure ici. Nous irons en commando, nous défendre nos couleurs.
D'après l'entraîneur de l'équipe adverse, Tchak Nguru, Coton Sport a mérité sa victoire.
Pas aussi dire que c'est à cause de l'arbitrage que le Coton Sport a gagné. Moi, j'ai parlé de la notion de post-Covid. À part cela, ce qu'il fait l'arbitre, je ne l'interprète pas. Hein? Il faut que ça soit clair. J'ai déjà félicité l'adversaire, il a mérité sa victoire. On ne peut pas être éliminé sur deux matchs de 90 minutes. On perd la première période aujourd'hui à 1-0. Au Sénégal, on va essayer de travailler, de voir ce qui n'a pas marché aujourd'hui, surtout sur l'aspect offensif, parce qu'en jouant même à 1 de moins, on a plus d'occasions claires que l'adversaire. Donc nous avons des atouts offensifs à se faire valoir. Donc sur le plan défensif, on a encaissé un but peut-être qu'on ne devrait pas encaisser. Il faut rectifier, il faut encore travailler et préparer sereinement le match retour, sans s'énerver. Préparer le match retour, c'est 1-0 à l'aller. Au retour, on peut gagner et se qualifier. Donc pour vous dire que le Jaraf est loin d'être éliminé, si on sait que ce sont sur 2 matchs qu'on doit être éliminé.
Le match retour aura lieu le 23 mai à Dakar.
Voilà, c'est la fin de cette édition qui a été préparée pour vous avec la coordination de Fête Tata et Wane Ela Nolinga était à la production. Madame, Messieurs, merci d'avoir été des nôtres. Retrouvez dans quelques instants Koum Lionad et ses panélistes pour Prime Art. Sur ce, bonne soirée.
Bienvenue dans